We're live. Let's go. We live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Fire's YouTube. Today we got an X Spaces and a YouTube live stream at the same time. So if you want to join us on X Spaces, you could join us there. Well, I think it's even live streaming on Twitter. There's a lot going on in this live stream today. But we got Jen, who's going to be my co-host for the day. If you don't follow her already, you can follow her at Grim Grinning Jen on Twitter, Instagram, or not Twitter, Instagram, X. Gosh, it's so hard to call it X. Today, I just want to talk Halloween. That's like going to be the priority of what we're going to be talking about. Jen, is there anything you want to like say or introduce yourself?
Hey guys, um, basically happy Halloween. It's October.
I
um,
know.
it's October and I feel like we've done so many haunts already. I've photographed like 4 haunts this season, which is more than I usually do, which is why I wanted to have this conversation. I feel like there's so much to say.
Yeah, I want to start off with Halloween Horror Nights. That's where I want to start off with, and then like we'll go into more other haunts and stuff like that. How has Halloween Horror Nights been treating you this year? I just want to throw this out there. I feel like I'm not seeing you enough out there.
Yeah, I've been going. I haven't been going as often. Um, Honestly, a big part of it is work. Work is busy, and I feel like there's not a lot of time in the day these days anymore. And then by the time like the weekend rolls around, I'm exhausted. But the times that I have gone, it's been fun, and it's been fun. But there's a lot of things that feel off to me this season. I think your last stream I had commented, I told you, like, I don't know if it's like the music in the scare zones or just like the houses feel so repetitive. But then you brought up it's like we're getting familiar with the formula. And I had some time to think about it, and I think you're right. It's like we're getting so used to everything. We're like, okay, ceremonies are at this time every year now.
Yeah.
The early entries are for these houses every year now. And then like the scares are just getting really predictable to me. And I feel like I want something new from Horror Nights. I feel like they've reached their peak and I want them to try something new, something fresh. Like 2022 for me was a great year. It was one of the best years that they've had in a while. And I don't know if maybe it was because we were coming back from like the pandemic and then the COVID HHN and then this one. But 2022 was cool. It was like one of the first times that we've gotten a taste of an Orlando original, and it was a hit. It was awesome. And my expectation for like the upcoming years were for it to be something like that. Like everything felt kind of like that. But I feel like as like 2023 happened and then this year, just like things have started to feel off. And I don't know if it's because I just went so often the last 2 years and I'm burned out, or if it's just because, like you said, it's the formula and we need something brand new.
Do you feel like we're feeling the formula more than ever before?
I think so for sure. And I don't know if it's because in previous years we had the metro sets, and I think the metro sets make a big difference because you're going on a route where you're never really at, and then the last 2 years or last 3 years, I think last 3 2 years, it's been in those sound stages in the back, and the crowd control has just been so bad, and then just I don't know, it makes everything feel so thrown off, and I just want I just want them to change it up a bit. Like if you saw it in Terror Tram, like everybody always complains about the Terror Tram. But this year they changed it up a bit. They went a new route. They did like the the little setups with Megan, just things like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
Like if they did things like that with different IPs or just even original stories, that'd be cool because it's something again, it's something new and it's fresh. And I feel like when it comes to the houses, it's like we've seen it all, like in the sense of scares.
yeah. Like, what are your like top or real quick? We got ArcZap dropping Five Fires 13-month membership. Thank you, ArcZap, 13 months. Um, what do you think, or what are your like top three? Because we're pretty deep now into this haunt, so I feel like the top three should be kind of definitive, but I feel like the top three is so different for so many people.
My top three, I don't think I have an order for it, but I think the top three houses that I've experienced and had the best walkthroughs of, it's been Insidious, um, Latin Monsters, and A Quiet Place. But then honorable mention Ghostbusters. I feel like I have so much fun in Ghostbusters all the time.
Yeah,
And then unpopular opinion, Universal Monsters really grew on me. I feel like if they didn't have all those black walls, it'd be such a good walkthrough because the times that I've gone, the cast goes so hard, and I've gotten all the scares compared to opening day. So that house is really growing on me,
okay,
but it's not top three.
yeah. Let me see. I think I posted it earlier what my top three are. I think I said it was Monstro. Monstros for me has been like just a banger for the most part. Like every time I've done it, Monstros, Ghostbusters, and then the weekend. And the weekend only has been growing on me more because it's like it goes like deeper than just that walkthrough. And my sister really like opened up my eyes to the weekend lore. Are you down with all that weekend lore?
I am like I think it's cool, and especially like it's cool as fans, like not only of the weekend, but as a fan of Horror Nights. You know, we like to know the backstories of these houses, so we look into it. But then you start to think like an average fan who just goes to Horror Nights like once a year and they just know Blinding Lights by the weekend. It's like, are they gonna understand what's going on?
That's
That's
how I
that's
felt.
where the
That's
confusion
how I
goes
felt.
on.
And you really only get blinding lights like in the outside while you're waiting.
Exactly. So it's like I don't know, but honestly, and let me ask you a question. What house do you prefer? Do you prefer the 2022 weekend or this year?
The 2022 weekend house to me, like, just I don't know what it is. I just feel like things flowed a lot better in 2022. Um, and I know it's like I don't know if I'm nitpicking, but the weekend house, when you really think about it, has a lot of black walls or just a lot
Yep.
of nothing walls. Every time the light is hitting you, and it's like three of them, two white lights and then one red light. There's absolutely nothing in those rooms.
I agree, and I was thinking that too. I'm like, at least last year the walls they were like painted or something, but like here I hate those lights, and they happen so often, and I feel like for the weekend there's not a lot going on, and I don't know if this is true, but there somebody had posted a video of the weekend walkthrough, and then I read a comment that someone said that the weekend the day that he was at Horror Nights, that he supposedly said that that he didn't really like the house and that the actors needed to go more hard. And I was like, how true is that? Didn't he help write the house?
Yeah, like how do you think? What do you think like would be some improvements that you could see for the weekend on your end?
Just add more scares there's more scenes, or like even if they had like those hidden scares. Like, do you remember in Creep Show there was like a specific room where it was hella dark, but there was somebody like touching you with a feather? I that was pretty dope, and it caught you off guard because as the Horror Night fans, you just think, oh, it's another black room. But then there's at least that little touch there, that like, oh, crap. Even having that would have been cool, just like something
Mm-hmm.
instead of just walking into the light and basically being blinded because you can't see anything.
Yeah. You know one thing too about the Weekend House, that like it's such a strong start because you get all these versions of the Weekend to start it off, and then he's just being killed at the end. And you don't really see the Weekend like on ground level anymore. I don't know. It was a weird one.
Yeah, the ending was weird. I guess it ends with them building like that weird weekend bug thing, that animatronic at the end. I think that's what it all leads up to, but I don't get that part.
Yeah, and it goes into like right here. Look, another black wall. Just a blinding light into a moth creature.
Yeah, and those lights are no joke, especially when you're conga lining and you can't see if the person in front of you stopped or not. So you're like bumping into people because that light is so blinding.
Blinding lights. Oh man. There's a lot of things I want to talk about when it comes down to horror nights. Do you feel that the conga line has been the worst it's ever been this year, or are we just exaggerating? Is the haunt community exaggerating? How do you feel about that?
I mean, okay, so to be fair, Horror Nights was always really notorious for their conga lines. But I feel like in past years, even though you were at a conga line, you didn't have people yelling at you, keep moving, keep moving. So like that ruins the experience. Back then, I feel like, okay, maybe there's just a lot of flow. It's a lot of flow of people, but there's no one screaming in your ear to keep moving, distracting you from what you're supposed to be looking at. So it like ruins the experience. And I've had it happen to me. Had it happen to me in Insidious, like in the middle of a scare. I was like, I'm trying to get scared here, and you're telling me to keep moving.
Okay, so with the concept of conga lines, they've always been there. It's nothing new at horror nights. It is what it is. It's always been there. But the the I don't know what to call them. The blackout character or blackout characters, but the blackout like team members that keep the line moving in the maze. I feel like they've never put so many of those workers in the maze, because there's sometimes where I'm like, man, I'm seeing more of the workers to keep the lines moving more than the scare actors. I think it was Monstros was my last time, and what is it called? Eternal Bloodline. I was like, damn, I saw more workers to keep the line moving than scare actors. Um, do you feel like it's been more workers of that type in the mazes this year?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's been a lot more of that. Like, I feel like there's rooms where you feel like you're gonna get a scare actor, but all you get is a team member. So it's like I hope they're making the same amount of money, consider they're both in there at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, and then SoCalorific said we could see their orange shirt now too.
yeah, you can. So not only do you see their shirt, but you see their little glowing stick telling you to keep going.
And sometimes they in Insidious, they put them in areas that are supposed to be dark, but they got the orange shirt now with the stick. So it's like, I don't know, the immersion, and then like this feeling of like trying to catch scares, and at the same time like do a good pace walkthrough through a maze. It takes a lot away from that experience when you're getting told to keep moving forward. And I feel like I'm feeling it more as of late. Like the last week, I felt it more than like the first month. Um,
I agree. I agree. Like literally, I went through Insidious on Friday last week, and it was in the room where the red faced guy, he comes out, and he's like, he kind of does like a double scare because it's like right in the between of the rooms, and he was about to come out to me. They're like, keep moving, and at the same time, I'm like, where am I gonna keep moving to? The person in front of me won't walk. Like there's only so much. So like, where am I going?
Let me ask this, or let me keep saying more things about this because I've been waiting to have this conversation until I talk to you. When you go to horror nights, if you're a super fan or you're just a person that's like, I just want to do something Halloween, the whole point is to experience the scares, the immersiveness, to look at things. And when you have this concept of like universal management is just trying to push these lines through as fast as possible, it really takes so much away from an experience that you're trying to have. And at the end of the day, there's some people that wait 2 hours. And then once they finally get in a maze, I want to appreciate this moment. For me personally, I haven't really had a slow person in front of me that's just like, dude, you got to keep moving forward. Where like I want to tell them to keep moving forward. I've never had that issue. I feel like for the most part, people have in their brain that like you got to keep a good pace just for the experience of everybody. Even when people are creating content or doing photos, like nobody really has like irked me or I've been to the point where like dude, you need to keep moving forward. Like I've never this year for me, I haven't experienced that at all. And what I'm trying to say is when I go into a maze, I want to see the sets, I want to see the scares, and the way that Halloween Horror Night does things, I feel like it almost promotes you to stop. Because guess what? They're behind a curtain. They're behind this like a what is it called? Like I guess another there's a lot of curtain scares this year, or like they just pop out through like plastic kind of walkthrough thing. So I feel like the way that the scares are built at Universal, they're built to stop you, to in a sense like slow you down because they're popping out, scaring you, flashing lights, very loud noises. Lots of times your like instant reaction is like whoa, you know what I mean? Like you're leaning back, you're kind of stopping. So it's like this weird battle of like the creative force of Horror Nights wants to scare the shit out of you, but then the management side of Universal wants you to keep moving forward, even though like you want to look at things and you want to experience the scare. Because if you're being told to move forward, like Jen was just talking about, you're gonna miss a scare. Or I think the one that for me personally, where I'm just like, why do I have to keep moving forward? Like I just want to like slow walk it a little. Is the ending of Ghostbusters, because that scene takes so long to play out. And if this is your one time you're going to do Ghostbusters, I want to see what this ending thing is. And it's like a double action from, the ball with fire and then the Ghostbuster shooting the beams at the Garaka. I just feel like the concept of moving forward and being told to move forward, it takes a lot away from Horror Nights. And I don't know. I could go deeper into it, and I will. But what do you think about all that stuff that I'm talking about?
I agree. Like when it comes to scares at Horror Nights, you I feel like you're supposed to stop because when they come out through the curtain and then the strobe lights hit, it's like your instant reaction is stop and flinch backwards, not keep walking forward and not experiencing the scare. And
Mm-hmm.
then how you were talking about with Ghostbusters, and I feel this way about Ghostbusters and Universal Monsters. I feel like those scares, those triggers take so long to like reset. So you don't there's half of the time that I've walked through Ghostbusters or through Universal Monsters, I don't get the scare because they're just kind of there waiting for it to reset. So you don't even it's weird, and then they're like, okay, keep moving forward, and then you're walking out of the room and you hear the reset.
I
And
know.
I'm like, come on. And especially in that one scene in Universal Monsters when the Dracula's bride is just in the coffin, and you just see her like sleeping there, but she doesn't do anything because her trigger is not reset yet. And
Yeah.
you exit the room, and then the trigger goes off, and it's because they tell you to keep moving. So I feel like for me, my best experiences, at least in those two houses, where you want to experience all the triggers that have to reset, is hit those at the end of the night because nobody's there. So they let you take your time. Like last time, I we did the last. We're like the last group to go through Universal Monsters, and we had the house to ourselves, and we got all the scares, and it was so dope.
Yeah. Do you feel that the way that the mazes were set up this year, maybe Universal's like not happy about it, and that's why they were like, "Hey, people are staying in these mazes too long. We need to do something about it. Put more workers to keep pushing people through." Do you think these scares are different from last year or the year before? Because I feel like nothing has changed really. This is how John Murdy does the scares. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the scares are the same. I think the only thing that might be different, and I think this kind of goes back to just um Universal Monsters and Ghostbusters. It's more like theatrics, like they have scenes playing out.
Mm,
And I think those are the only two things that are like really different. But other than that, I think all the scares are the same. It's a boo hole. You're expecting a scare in certain places. So I don't think that's the issue. I don't know what the issue is. I feel like maybe they were just expecting to have sold out nights like they did last year and the year before, that they hired all these team members to keep pushing people through. But I feel like the crowds haven't been that crazy.
no,
Like
not at all.
like the highest wait time was probably 90 minutes that I've seen, but that's nothing compared to like the 180 minutes that we had like last year and 2 years ago.
On a constant.
Look, I remember last year and 2 years ago every night sold out, sold out, sold out. And this year they just keep putting the price down for freaking Fear Pass.
Yeah, so this is my theory. This is my theory. This is what I think's happening. I think Universal is obviously not selling tickets how they thought they were gonna do. So I think there's like this quota that like upper management has of like we need these many people to go through the mazes, and the crowds are not what they thought they were going to be. So they're like, well, look, this is what we could do. We could we're only going to have 10,000 people instead of the 20,000 that we thought we were going to have. With the 10,000, we're going to push these crowds through as much as we can through all the mazes. So instead of these people just doing 5, maybe they do 7. And if we keep doing that every day and pumping these numbers with lower crowd, our numbers will look better at the end of the day through the mazes, even though it's lower crowd. So that's what I think is happening. They're trying to pump people through the mazes more with lower crowd to bump up the numbers, even though it's lower crowd. That's what I think's happening. Because
Yeah, I can see that.
all these IPs, all these budgets, there's some big numbers being played, and they need to justify like, look, Ghostbusters was a good move, or Eternal Bloodline was a good move, or the Quiet Place, like this IP was worth it. Look how many people we're pumping through, even though we have a lower crowd. So that's what I think's happening. I don't know if like. Uh, I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but lower crowd, they're just trying to pump this lower crowd into the mazes more. So it's higher numbers of how many people went through the mazes. So the capacity they're trying to make the capacity go up of the mazes. Um, because it's very obvious that there's like an initiative to push people through these mazes. And the walkthroughs for Horror Nights are always like 3 to 4 minutes, And when I do other haunts, notably Scary Farm is like 7 to 8 minutes. Just recently, Fright Fest, for the most part, they're like 6 to 7 minutes. And Dark Harbor, they're like 20 minutes. But Horror Nights is definitely at the bottom when it comes down to walkthrough time. Uh, and recently, John Murdy tweeted that like he had a 120-page treatment for something for next year, and I was like, is there going to be a 200-page treatment? Because I think we need longer walkthroughs just for capacity's sake and conga line's sake. Because I think having longer walkthroughs is good for everything. Um, do you have any thoughts on that one, Jen?
I agree. I think that makes sense. Like the if we're being realistic, what you're saying is the most logical thing that's happening. I think as hot fans, we just want to be angry that they keep pushing us through. Um, but realistically, I think that's definitely what's going on. They expected larger crowds, and those crowds aren't coming. Um, and we've had nights where like, damn, it's busy, but it's not as busy compared to last year and the year before. So I think that's what they were expecting. So to meet those numbers, they're just pushing all these people through.
Mm-hmm.
They're and I feel like we need more houses on sound stages because they're at least a little longer. They're not they're longer than the tent houses, but we definitely need longer mazes, or we just need more. We need more. If we have the same layout that we have now, and then you add the soundstage where Exorcist Believer was, and then instead of Terror Tram, you put those two houses down there where Us and Pandora's Box. That would divert so many crowds.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
that would divert so many crowds. People like to think that Terror Tram is the people eater, and it is for a little bit, but then you got to remember Terror Tram closes like 2 hours before the event even ends.
Mm-hmm.
So then all those crowds go in the mazes. So I think we just need more houses and longer walkthroughs.
And you know one thing I didn't realize in 2018 they did the metro sets with the Terror Tram, so it's possible to have metro sets and bump up the numbers to like 10 houses with the Terror Tram if they so desire.
Yeah, they could definitely do that, but I don't know. This is just us as like hot people talking and what we want. But at the same time, there has to be a time where Universal listens to all the complaints that we're giving out here, because the keep pushing forward, it is getting a little annoying and takes away from the experience personally.
Yeah, it takes away from a lot, the experience a lot.
And
uh,
especially those people that are waiting an hour, 2 hours to go through.
yeah, Johnny dropping a super chat says, "I'll be there for RIP tomorrow." Well, they do that to RIP guest. They do it to anybody. They do it to everybody. There's no holding back on the keep moving forward. Um, I think if like a RIP tour guide went through the maze, they would probably not say anything to you. But the RIP tour guides wait outside, so you're just another normal guest in the maze. But yeah, they do it to everybody. The thing about it though, Johnny, I feel like the keep moving forward thing has been like in the last 2 weeks. It's like really heightened. But you got RIP, man. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Dude, awesome time to do a RIP. I got Junior in here too now. What's up, Junior?
What's up, Mondo? Hey, Jen.
Hey, Junior.
How do you feel about the scares and the way that they're scaring people? Do you think it's affecting the conga line and the keep moving forward, and or is this keep moving forward just something else like bigger than all this? What do you think?
It's actually ruining the experience. You know, it does get annoying when they say keep moving. Because I want to get scared too. I want to get scared. I want to experience it. But it's a disaster right now. It always has been for the past 2 years, I believe. The keep going thing, and I feel like next year they gotta work on this. Like go to the meeting room. Talk about it. How could they do this better? For us. For us to experience better. You know, but this keep going thing is just really annoying. I hate it. I just don't like it at all.
We got the cackling Kraken says, I took a RIP last Friday. I complained to my tour guide Adrian, Adrian, and she called her manager to let them know about the yelling, and it stopped. So tell your tour guide if they're yelling. Damn, that's crazy. I don't think anybody could stop the keep moving forward. It's like embedded into this experience this year, for whatever reason. So you guys don't think it's the scares causing people to stop in the mazes more?
I think it
Oh,
depends. I do think it depends because I feel like people who have gone to horror nights before, they kind of get a feel of where the scares are already. So maybe if they see that there's supposed to be a scare there but nothing happens, they kind of like take their time a little bit to see if it does happen. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that. I've done that
Everybody's
a couple
guilty
times.
of
Like,
that. That's
you
what we go
know,
to horror nights for.
yeah, and I'm just like, I want the scare, but then like you have somebody yelling at you, all right, keep moving forward, and the second you walk, the scare comes out. And I'm just like, all right, does the scare actor hate me or something? They saw me.
yeah,
It starts
that's
to
how I
get
feel.
personal.
You know the scare actors are looking too.
Yeah, it gets personal. So I'm like, hey, that's
Yeah,
not cool.
I got yelled at many times.
I'm not scaring you today.
The team member, they were yelling at me, but I'm like, why are you yelling at me? There's people in front of me. What do you want me to do about it? They're just stopping there. Why are you yelling at me? What the hell?
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah, or I've had times where you have those guests in front of you that get super scared and their reaction is to freeze and like fall or try to run back, and they like, and then it stops you, and then they yell at you for it. I'm like, I don't even know these people.
Yeah.
Especially the opening ceremony. Like I told Mando, like the 745 one. One team member complains about my foot, like 1 inch out of behind the red line. I'm like, you're complaining about that just by 1 inch? Come on now, it's ridiculous. They go overboard. They really do. It's annoying.
I always say I think it's the management for whatever reason. They just trying to push people through as fast as they can through the mazes. Um, I don't know. I've never felt like a pressure to walk fast in a maze ever at any of the haunts I've done. Um, and I'm not trying to throw HHN completely under the bus, but when I do Scary Farm, I I don't even know if I got told one time to keep moving forward at all. Like I'm not exact. Do you remember Junior? If when we went that one,
No,
you
Nas was really peaceful, calm, no yelling, nothing. That's the way I like it. It
yeah.
was just peaceful.
And let me say this: Not Scary Farm has a lot of actors that are just kind of roaming in rooms,
Yeah,
not necessarily like a boo scare, like a jump scare.
yeah.
Do you think that's what's going on in the big picture? Is maybe there was too many jump scares in all these mazes instead of like roaming around kind of thing? How do you feel about that, Jen? That's one thing I wanted to ask you because at Scary or you were just at Dark Harbor recently too. Like they have people kind of roaming rooms instead of like jump scare because Horror Nights really is like they're really depending on these pop out scares this year.
Yeah, so this is the first year that I've gone to like multiple haunts in a span of like a month. And I think this is where my disappointment with Horror Nights is coming in after experiencing different haunts, is that these other haunts, they have so much more free range when it comes to scaring. Like they don't rely on strobe lights or they don't rely on triggers. they'll move around like in different rooms. And in Dark Harbor, I got followed by a scare actor for like 3 minutes, and I'm just like, okay, I know it's just some guy in makeup, but it's eerie because they're following you. And as somebody who goes to horror nights, it's like they're not supposed to follow you, you know. So it's creepy, and I think that's what I was saying about how I think Dark Harbor is scarier in that sense, because they have this the ability to move around, and they can interact with you, they can talk to you, and it makes it feel more personal. And I think that's really cool. And then same thing with knots, even in the scare zones, they can interact with you, and it feels so personal. And that makes an event scary, makes it eerie, and even in haunted hayride isn't even like the best quality of things, but because they can move around and stuff, it's scary, and it's not something that you're used to in a haunt. And especially horror nights where they're so relying on the triggers in a pop out scare.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when they're following you around different rooms, you're like, I want to keep walking. I'm gonna keep walking so they stop. In
That
horror nights,
happened a
they're
lot.
popping out. You're like, ah, I'm gonna stop.
That's happened a lot at Scary Farm, where
Hmm.
actors follow you to rooms. Hey, my first reaction is not to stop. I'm gonna keep moving in the rooms. Like,
Exactly. You're like, I wanna get away from them. I'm gonna keep walking. And then horror nights, you're like, oh, I'm gonna stop because they're right in front of my face.
and that's what I want to talk. That's exactly why I wanted to do today's live. Is the scares are so different because Horror Nights really relies on the pop scare, the trigger scare with lights and one big loud noise. But a lot of times those things are coming at you, so that's why I say you have to stop. So when you really think about I'll just say Insidious. Insidious has so many scares everywhere. At any given time, a maze could be stopped like 15 times throughout a maze because all the triggers are going off. So that's why I like the concept of like keep moving forward and not letting people appreciate the experience. I feel like it's a bad move. It's a bad move. Like on the management side of Universal, I think it's a real bad move because like actors have to be given time to reset. They have to rest a little bit, and to be told to keep moving forward. I waited 80 minutes for Insidious, and I missed like half the scares because I have to keep moving forward. I feel like at Scary Farm, you kind of don't miss you don't really miss scare actor like roles unless like the actor's just not there because they just have actors roaming everywhere. Same thing with kind of Fright Fest too. Those actors are just roaming. Like there's really not a lot of pop scares that I could think of at Fright Fest. But man, um, do you think Horror Nights is the scariest event this year?
No,
No.
not scary farm.
What about for you, Jet?
I haven't been to Knott's yet. I'm going
Yeah,
later
you
this
gotta
month.
go. Yeah, this is a good year
I'm
for.
going later this month, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I go to horror nights and I'm just like, oh, cool, the lipstick demon pop out. But I went a Tell me why I went a Dark Harbor and LA Hayride, and I was screaming in those mazes.
Dude, Dark
Like,
Harbor is so creepy in that Queen Mary, man.
Well, I'm gonna be
and
honest,
and
to
like
be straightforward with you guys. Well, go ahead, Jen. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, for Dark Harbor, I know, Mondo, you were saying it was like animatronic city, and I agree. There's a bunch of animatronics, but just the fact that you're in a what they say, a haunted ship, and you don't know what's real or what's not real in there, and then they follow you around and you get to go in these creepy hallways, like, that makes it extra scary to me. Like, it makes it eerie, it makes it like a weird, uncomfortable experience. And then for Hayride, it gives that like vintage classic home haunt feel. And sometimes those are really creepy because there's no lighting in there. It's so dark. and you never see the scares coming. And again, they follow you around.
Yeah.
So, so it's really cool. And I think Knott's is kind of the same way. It kind of gives off like that classic vintage home haunt type of feel, and personally, I really like that. Um, and I would hope that one day Horror Nights decides to kind of go in that route, but we'll see.
What were you gonna say, Junior?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest, be straightforward with all the chat on YouTube. Um, Not Scary Farm is the winner this year. They are the winners because, like you said, the scare actors they roam around the mazes. They come out of nowhere, scary. When we went to the chili chambers, there was no one behind me, and I felt like an actor was following me. That's what I felt like. I was scared. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie. But compared to Horror Nights, like you guys said, they just do the trigger and the pop out scare. That's it. That's all they do. And then you got the team member yelling at you, keep going. That ruins the experience. I just hate it. So
And
that's
this is also like no hate to the scare actors either. Like
no,
the scare actors are doing their thing, and they're all they're doing is they're doing their role, following their rules. This is more of a like a management thing of Horror Nights and like a creative aspect of it.
yeah,
Um, just wanted to throw that out there.
yeah. I just hate when the team members yell at you. I just don't like it. It just ruins the experience. We all want to get scared. That's all we want.
Do you
But
feel this year is one of the least scariest years at Horror Nights?
yeah, it is.
I
Um,
think so.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's almost like they went for this. We don't want to be over the top scary, but we want to be like right in the middle. Do you feel that way?
sorta. Yeah, I do. I just wish that they would have been like way back then, like '07, '08. When they were really scary, like rated R.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a damn. But ever
Yeah,
since,
I think they need to go back to their roots.
yeah.
What does that mean? Because I heard a lot of people say that. I heard a lot of people say, what is go back to the roots? Like, give us some examples.
I feel like Junior can speak on it a little bit better because he's been going a little longer than I have. But to me, it just means like stop feeding to this PG 13 audience
Yeah.
type of thing. Back
Chucky.
then, it was more rated R.
Yeah. More rated R. Like they don't give a damn. They're gonna do whatever they want. They're not gonna listen to the guests' complaints. They all cuss. They don't care. Like and the team members will never yell at you back then. They will never yell at you to keep going. Nothing. It was just peaceful, scary as heck. That's it. And now it became like friendly event all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen so many more kids this year, like little
Yeah,
kids this year, than
I
I have
do.
in previous years.
Yeah, I have. Even the strollers too. With the strollers,
Yep.
weird.
Uh
Yeah,
Yeah.
huh.
it's really
I don't
weird.
know how I keep seeing babies and strollers at Horror Nights. It's like more common lately.
Yeah,
Like I
even
guess when you
we
could
see
take naps.
elementary. I've seen elementary kids like at least 12 kids. Like, what are you guys doing here? You should be at school tomorrow. You're on a school night. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, because like just in general, Ghostbusters is like a fun, scary. Insidious is like a very darker tone, scary. Quiet Place, I would say not scary at all, but incredible sets. Monstros, I feel like Monstros really is trying to scare you. Like they're really trying to scare you in there. Uh, Eternal Bloodline, I don't feel like anybody's really trying to scare. There's not like this like build up momentum and just
Yeah,
a big. The biggest scare in Eternal Bloodline is the werewolf with the Frankie at the end.
yeah,
I'm never ready for that part for whatever reason. Uh, the one that I feel like has lost a lot of momentum is Dead Exposure. It's not scary. I don't know what it is. It's not scary. Texas, if it's staffed, it's very scary. If it's not staffed, it's extremely underwhelming. It's just the way it works. Um, the weekend, I don't want to say it's scary at all. It's just a trip when you go through.
yeah,
Um, and Terra Tram is just fun, not scary. That's how that's like my breakdown of all the mazes.
yeah. To
So I
me,
feel the things that fall under scary are like Insidious and
yeah,
Texas if it's staffed.
yeah, exactly. It makes it much better with staffs. every corner. But the internal lines, I'm sorry guys, but I do not like that maze at all. I don't like it. I just feel like it's boring now. Too many black walls. They're not even staffed. I feel like I'm walking into a museum. I mean, I don't know. I just they gotta retire Universal Monster now. They have to. I want to see something brand new.
Jet, I want to ask you this. I was asking everybody this question. What needs to go more? Uh, Universal Monsters or Blumhouse from Horror Nights?
Oh God.
They're like
Honestly,
everybody says both, but I'm curious to hear what you say.
honestly, Blumhouse, because to me, none of the Blumhouse movies are scary. Um, I think a lot of the Blumhouse movies are fun. They're not scary.
Yeah,
With Universal Monsters, I feel like they could do so much because there's so many characters, so many stories. They just need to they just need to put more love into Universal Monsters. And it's sad because John Murdy always hypes up the monsters. Like those are his babies. He grew up with it. It's what got him into horror. But every year that we walk through, since at least Bride of Frankenstein, after that, I feel like there's a lot of black walls in the mazes. I think the last good one that we had was maybe Legends Collide.
yeah. Legends
For,
Collide was good.
for me, was 2018 the best because all the monsters
Oh
were there.
yeah, that one was the
That's the
best.
best ever because they put
Like
the maze
imagine
in the plaza area. That was the best thing about it.
imagine they gave us Creature of the Black Lagoon. Like that would be so dope. Like the effects that they could do is so cool. But they just keep reusing the Bride,
Yeah,
Dracula, and Frankenstein. It's like let them sleep. Like
yeah.
Michael Myers, let them sleep.
Leatherface too. Let him sleep already. We've seen enough.
And, and
You
after this year, I'm like, you know what? I would have rather had Michael Myers back.
know?
So,
That would bring
so
the cross in. That would bring the cross in for sure.
let's talk about the lineup this year. Uh, the announcement season, I feel, was terrible. The whole like dragging it out as far as they
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you feel this lineup falls like from like 2018 to today? Is this lineup like in last place?
Oh,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah. 100%. Yep. It's like the worst lineup ever.
I like the whole time, like during announcement season. Every time that we got an announcement, I was never super hype. I was like, cool, the weekend,
Yeah, that's how I
cool,
felt. That's how I felt.
Ghostbusters, that's fun. But nothing hyped me up. Nothing was like, oh, this is a must, and I'm gonna have to do this. I didn't feel like that this season.
The one that I truly was like, I can't wait to do it was uh, Texas. Texas was when he did the whole announcement and went into detail. I was just like, I was blown away. I was like, damn, I can't wait to do this like 9 Leatherface house. Uh, have you got all the Leatherfaces in one run, or that's never happened for you?
I
I
think open night for me.
Yeah, opening night I got all of them. After that I haven't.
For me, I'm always missing the very first one on the left. I never get him. I never get him. I always hear him behind me, but I never get him. Uh, have you felt like this year the mazes have been like less staffed, and I'm talking about like scare actor wise than previous year?
Yeah, this year,
Yes, this year.
Eternal Bloodline, Let's Stab, and Dead Exposure too. That's letting me down already. There's like hardly staff now.
Yeah, I think those two have been lacking. And then my last few walkthroughs of the weekend haven't been fully staffed either.
Like the one that walks where his hands stay on the wall and all the hands are moving.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
weekend is never there.
yeah. He's never there anymore. Even the Leatherface too. 'Cause remember, you and I had a bad walkthrough with 4 Leatherface. And they were just like lazy. They don't want to scare us.
there was no leather faces
Yeah,
for me. Uh, I have not. I couldn't even recall all the leather faces. I, I feel like I'm nitpicking, but I feel where the Leatherface placements have been were not the best during Texas run. And I'll give an example. Where the grandpa's like, like hammering, the
Yeah.
Leatherface is like stuck behind pigs on the left side. And
Yeah, yeah.
when he comes out, it's like it's almost hard to make out. Like, oh, he's there, because all your focus is on the right and straight, and he's like behind pigs over here. And then there's another one where the guy's pushing the cart and like a head
Yeah.
pops out. There's actually a Leatherface that comes out in that room,
Yeah.
but you rarely see him. He like pops out, and when that Leatherface comes out, he stops the whole crowd. I think Junior got that scare one time.
Yeah, yeah. I got that scared because I didn't know he was there. That was
And
like
that
ahead of me.
and that scare is one of the best ones
Yeah.
that we had. But then once you go from the pushing cart room, there's supposed to be a Leatherface. Uh, Damn, I don't know if I recorded this Leatherface scare. Hold on, let me see if I could go to it. Texas. Let me see. Let me see if I could show this real quick. Yeah, right here. So, are you guys able to see the YouTube by any chance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at this scare that I'm going to show right now. have have any of you caught that scare right there that I'm showing right now? That one never exists anymore. That was like an opening weekend thing, and it never came back.
I didn't even know it was supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this year there's a lot of scares where people are like, "What? I never seen that one. I didn't even know that was supposed to be blah blah blah." Uh, that scare never happens anymore. Uh, Let me see.
I've literally never seen that.
Have you seen that one, Junior? I think you caught it one time with us. You see this one too, where he pops out on the left. Ah, man. But yeah, I don't even know what Leatherface scene that's supposed to be. Uh, did I catch? Oh yeah, right here I caught this one too. This Leatherface where he's pushing the cart. Oh my gosh, I went too forward. Let's see if he'll play. Come on, Leatherface. Is there a Leatherface right here? No Leatherface. Or is there? Nope, no Leatherface. Oh man, I don't know. I feel for me, because I've gone to horror nights so many times. I feel like this year staffing has been kind of an issue. Uh, it's been kind of an issue at horror nights, and the surprising part is I always say that like Scary Farm is the one that has the issue with the scare actor like employment, and for whatever reason, Knott's just staffing has been amazing, and
Yeah.
I always keep it honest. I never try to BS everybody. Knott's is just staffed really well this year. I don't know what happened.
Yep. The cinema slasher man is my best mates right there. The best
Yeah.
one this year. Got me
Natalie
so good.
says I've only got it once and I've walked through it 10 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
I miss Knots too. I want to go back.
LC says problem with the costume allegedly only one person casted between A and B. Damn, I believe it. I believe it. Um, Jen, you had a chance to go to Dark Harbor. How was your experience at Dark Harbor? Let's move on to Dark Harbor. Enough horror nights.
Personally, I had a lot of fun. Um, I was excited for it to come back. I know when I went like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I had a good experience. I always thought it was really creepy and eerie. And I think it's because they don't push a lot of people through it at the same time, at least the times that I've gone. Um, so it feels very intimate in the ship, and it's scary. Um, and it feels like you're getting lost because there's no one telling you keep going this way, you know. So you're kind of fending for yourself and trying to find where you're going, and I think that that adds on to the experience. I really enjoyed the street scare actors. They're they talk to you. They're very immersive, and it was a new experience for me because I'm somebody who mainly just goes to horror nights. So it was nice to get a different feel of it. If they just added more scare actors in the mazes in the ship, I think it would be 100 times better. But personally, my experience was really fun.
Yeah. That's what me and my buddy Tim kept saying. Like, if there was just scare actors everywhere, I want to say Queen Mary is definitely the scariest because it's already scary and very eerie and all that good stuff. One thing about Dark Harbor is I feel like they keep selling out. Like they're packed, long ass lines. People, Dark Harbor had a lot of demand, so really happy for that event to come back so strong. And it's very obvious that people in that Long Beach area they wanted a haunt big time. Did you have a chance to hit any of the speakeasies or like try foods and all that kind of stuff or nah?
I didn't try any of the foods. I saw the prices and I was like, never mind, I'll wait. Um, but I did three of the speakeasies. I did the one that was in infirmary,
Mm-hmm.
and that one was dope. It took you down to the boiler room, and that was so creepy. So like you go into the bar. I didn't buy anything, but I just went to see what it was. And then there's like an elevator, and before I could even ask, I was in the elevator. And then we get down there, we're like, where are we? They're like, oh, just letting you know you're 35 feet below water and you're in the boiler room. And I was like, what the hell? And we go,
Had to
and
be hot down there.
it was just it, it was scary. I don't know how much of a believer you are of like spirits and all of that.
I believe
Um,
it. I
and I had tweeted about this and I put it on my story on Instagram too. But for those who didn't get a chance to see it, so I was down there and I was with my boyfriend and we were just walking and I just feel something pull my hair. And I turned around and I was gonna yell at my boyfriend. I was gonna be like, hey, why are you pulling my hair? I turned around and he's on the other side of the ship. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, all right, cool. And I got chills. I was like, all right. And then we went back up. We exit the boiler room and everything. And my boyfriend goes like, I didn't want to tell you this, but my ojo bracelet fell off in there. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. His bracelet was put on tightly. He was like, yeah, it fell in there. I was like, oh hell no, those demons were trying to get us or something. And I think
yeah.
just those experiences make Dark Harbor scary because you don't know if it's a scare actor or a ghost. Um, and then the other speakeasy I did was the one in the big top base, and that one was really cool. It was because there's like a part where you can put your face through like the window and you can scare people, and I thought that's cool.
I know all these like different things that they do. It's really cool, really really cool. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was saying about like these haunts, these other haunts. Like I've always said this to people. If you want like high quality production, go to horror nights. Their production quality is amazing.
yeah,
But if you want to get scared, go to Dark Harbor, go to Knott's, like go to smaller haunts because those get you.
yeah,
They're so different and they're so interactive. Like even at Hayride, there was a maze where you go to each door and a scare actor pops out at you and then they give you candy because it's called trick or treat. Like that's so cool.
um, I want to get on the positive side. What were the big positives that you walked away from Dark Harbor?
Big positives. Um, Scare actors are really interactive. The fact that you get to go inside the ship is so cool. You get to walk around these hallways that a lot of people haven't walked through in years, but Dark Harbor makes it happen, and you can go through. And I feel like there's something to do for everybody. If you don't want to get scared and go in the mazes, there's rides for you to do. It kind of sucks that it is a different, like another add-on that it doesn't come with your general admission ticket, but still pretty cool. There's something to do for everybody. There's bars. There's a hookah lounge. Like there's a lot to do for such a small space. I definitely recommend, but I also do recommend people show up early because parking is gross.
Yeah, Dark Harbor. uh, Junior, what about for you? What were your positives with Scary Farm that you walked away from?
Let me see. Scare zones were amazing. The show, mazes, basically everything. All the positives were really perfect to me. The whole event, I loved everything. It was just peaceful, quiet. I had the best experience ever. That's all I can say. That's all my positives.
And you guys have both been at Halloween Horror Nights. What were the big positives that you walked away from this year at Horror Nights?
That's hard. I mostly have
How's
all
this
negatives.
hard? I just think it's funny to ask that question.
Uh,
Uh,
I think I just have all negatives, which you guys know what they are. So,
what? No positives?
uh,
What about you, Jen? Any positives that just stand out big time for you?
Positives. The Luchadores Scare Zone is a huge positive. It's really fun there. They're very fun to look at, especially the last 2 weeks. I feel like they've been more interactive in the sense that they try to fight guests, kind of.
yeah,
So that's
me.
that's really cool. Another positive. It might be a negative to Universal, but to me, it's a positive. The low wait times for the most part.
I know it's a huge positive.
I only have one positive, Luchadores, so I agree with Jen. Luchadores is really awesome. They go hard. I like how they interact with the guests. You know, I I love wrestling against them. It's really fun. Um, the low wait times as well, positive, and that's pretty much it.
For me, Luchadores for sure is like a big standout. Um, the Terror Tram, I feel like is a positive this year. Uh, I'm shocked to say that because I'm usually not. I'm not very high on the Terror Tram. The Purge show too. I feel like is a positive. It's been awesome. Every time I watch the Purge show, it hasn't let me down. It's always crazy as
Yeah.
hell. And
Yeah, I was gonna say the Purge is my third positive. I feel like they've really improved. For the most part, it's the same, but they've added some new things. I feel like they made it a little bit more gory. And it's really fun. It's a fun watch.
I would have said something about the fire towers, positive, but I wish they would have put better music like last year.
Yeah,
That's it. Just the music. Music alone.
yeah.
That's it. Just
The
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 music.
music at Fire Towers has bummed me out so much. I feel like I cannot hang out there.
Yeah,
dude,
that's how I feel. Yeah.
everybody says that. Everybody says that. Do you think it's just too like mild? It's not like a hype sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really hyped. Like you said, Mano, like the chainsaw punks. Maybe they put all those punks to on that side of the fire tower, so people
Ha-
can get all pumped up,
have you
hang out
noticed
there.
that this year, Jen? That the chainsaws are way more by the fire towers now.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that, and I feel like I like it. I like that they're back there, but then it ruins like the music ruins it because like you have all these punks, but there's no punk music going on, or they're not hype, and I'm like I want them to be hype with the music, and I feel like that would add so much more to the
Yeah.
experience. Um, Again, I think a lot of the issues with fire towers this year is just the music.
Yeah, it's just the music alone. That's all it is. Just the music.
The Skull Lords. I miss too there being more like stilt walkers because this year we only have one. And then like the scarecrows don't come to the fire towers no more. I miss the scarecrows at the fire towers. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, it makes it more hype, more fun. Because a lot of guests love the crows and the fire towers.
Yeah,
Like
I
last year.
agree. I miss them dancing at the fire towers.
I know. They're still dancing. It's just over there by Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Oh man. The another positive for me too has been uh, I feel like for some reason I don't know why I'm having the most fun in Ghostbusters this year. Um, it's just I don't know. It's been on another level for me for some reason. Um, I don't know. It's weird. Like for me, I'm having a great year at Horror Nights. It's just not. It's definitely not the scariest or anything like that.
no,
Um, it's weird because I feel like early on in the Horror Night season, uh, I don't know if John, because I remember John Murdy said like one of these are a lie, one of them are truth or something like that, and one of them was that like there will be no returning houses this year, and for the most part, this whole Horror Nights is a returning thing.
yeah.
We've had
Like I
Universal
said,
Monsters, we've had Texas, we've had The Weeknd, we've had Ghostbusters, we've had Insidious, we had all that Blumhouse stuff. We've had it all.
yeah, like I said, he does lie though.
We
Like
had
they do the role, make him
Monstros.
lie.
We've had Monstros.
Yeah, Blumhouse needs to retire. It's time to move on.
Yeah,
Like
I think that was a big issue for me too. Like how I was saying, it felt repetitive, and I feel like that's why, because maybe the mazes themselves are not the same, but the IPs are the same.
Yeah. Um, to end today's live stream, what needs to come next year to Horror Night?
Terrifier, Terrifier. That's number one.
And I don't care about licensing issues and all. They
Yeah,
could work with companies and make it happen.
Terrifier. That's
What
the number one
needs to
thing.
come? Terrifier?
Terrifier. That's the number one thing. Terrifier. That needs to come. That will bring the cross in a lot more than last year. Terrifier alone.
What about you, Jen?
I think Terrifier for sure. Um, I know we won't get it, but I can keep praying for Freddy versus Jason to come back.
Yeah,
Um, Hopefully, maybe one day we get it. Even if it's not the new one, we can get the original it. That'd still be scary as hell.
yeah,
Um, and just some dope originals. Like I want something like Scarecrow again. Scarecrow was so fun, and I'm gonna keep saying it too. They want to keep bringing things back from 2019. Give us Creep Show. There's so many stories.
I'm
I mean,
shocked. I'm shocked Creepshow hasn't come back.
Freddy Krueger. I would love to see that come back, Freddy vs. Jason. But in my opinion, Freddy deserves to come back to have his own movie. It's been 16 years. He deserves to come back.
I agree.
Johnny dropping a super chat. He says something Rob Zombie.
Well,
Is Rob Zombie played out too?
As long as it's not House of a Thousand
yeah, I was
Corpses.
about to say like his
I know
own
that's.
his own thing, original, his own thing.
Hey, if it was like Rob Zombie music, it would be sick. It'd be
That would
Yeah,
awesome.
be
like
cool. Like
Dracula, Leave It
need to
Danigo.
bring
Yeah. Oh
they need to
yeah.
bring back like a metal artist to do a house, like Alice Cooper type.
Iron Maiden. Everyone wants that.
I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat and YouTube are saying Resident Evil, Silent Hill, uh, Chucky, and Tiffany Mays. Would that be fun?
That would
I
be Resident Evil will be
I
awesome.
would,
Huh?
yeah, I would like Bride of Chucky. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And whatever happened to The Last of Us 2? I was so sure we were gonna get that this year.
I
I
know.
have a feeling we get that next year. I think we're gonna get that next year.
Is it time for Michael to make a comeback next year?
Nah, not yet. Maybe like in 3 years, 3 more years.
Damn, I don't know if I want to wait that long for Michael to come back.
If they want Michael, it has to be from Blumhouse. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Which Michael would you like to see, Jen? Because I know you're a Michael fan. What
OG
Michael,
Michael.
like say next year? Next year, which Michael do we need? What movie? What version?
I, OG Michael, personally, for me. Um, but if they want to do something, why don't they? They could also go the Texas Chainsaw route. Have like a legacy of Michael Myers.
yeah, I was gonna say that
There's so many things they could do.
they can include Rob Zombie and Blumhouse in the
Yeah,
mix,
yeah, that'd be cool.
and they got to include Halloween 3, the season of the witch.
I think Season of the Witch should take over the Terror Tram. It just be
That'd be cool.
yeah.
But I saw someone ask Murdy if that like if that would ever come back, and he said if such thing ever existed, it's not coming back.
And we were supposed to have that 3 years ago, and then
Yep, I remember.
it got cut at the last minute.
We got a super chat from Anthony. Says original Scream or Fear Street. I'm still shocked Fear Street hasn't come. Uh, do you think John could put whatever differences he has on Scream and make it happen?
Uh,
Because there's no way you're telling me that John was like, you know what, we really need this year? Enter the Blumhouse. We're gonna put Purge back. We're gonna put Megan.
oh God, I
when,
feel like Nas could do a better job with Scream is.
if Scream was like an IP that could be got, like a Scream Terror Tram would have been crazy. That would have been crazy.
Even
Yep,
though it didn't do well though in 2011, Scream Terror Trap.
yeah, I remember
It didn't.
that.
It was awful.
Would Scream work as a house?
Yeah, way better than Terror Trap. Yeah, a house better.
Yeah, and I feel like they have to do the original. I feel like the one time that they were supposed to do a house, I think they really wanted to do the MTV show version, and John was like, "Nah."
Hmm. I saw Scream the original yesterday. It was like good to watch again. Uh, it's an old one, but it still hits hard. Still hits hard. Um, the other thing too for horror nights, um, I think if like the route is like, well, we don't want to spend all this money on IP, and people are saying they're over Blumhouse. I think just do original stuff, right? I feel like an original would hit harder. Like I'll give you an example. I feel like Universal are itching to drop a Megan Mace. They want it so hard. I know they do. Whatever people are in charge of Horror Night IPs, they want Megan. Do you guys want Megan? Is that exciting?
Nah,
Oh
no
no.
thanks.
Because you know they want it. Megan had the show. Now she's on the Terror Tram with scenes. It's like they're trying to build up this like Megan to. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Megan will be scary and something that like, oh, I want to do that again. I don't think so.
I'd rather
Maybe
Abigail.
we'll have it as a scare zone next year.
You know the one that has grown on me a little bit, and I just want to throw it out there is the freaky girl. She's grown on me, or just
Yeah, she's cool.
universe. It's grown on me a lot.
Yeah, if Blumhouse wants to bring a movie, I don't even know if it's Blumhouse. I think it is. They should bring Abigail. An Abigail house would be cool.
I still
Yeah,
have.
I would love that. That
Is
would
that
work perfectly.
is that one streaming already? Can I watch that
Peacock,
streaming?
Yeah, I think it's on Peacock.
Peacock.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that today. You know what movie I was trying to watch yesterday, and I just watched a YouTube review better. Was Skinamarink. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
I've seen it. I when I watched it, I said you're
You
either
watched the
gonna
whole
love it.
thing? Hold on, did
I
you watch
did.
the whole? Wow,
I did. I said you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
that's exactly what my sister said, and she loves it.
I At first I was really confused, and then I kept watching it, and I really liked it, and it made me uncomfortable, and I think that's what it was supposed to do. It wasn't supposed to be like scary. It was just supposed to make you like uncomfortable. And it made me feel all weird. Like, I don't know, but I watched the whole thing, and I really liked it.
Wow. I should watch the whole thing because I watched like 20 minutes and I was like, man, because it was really late at night. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to watch all of this.
Yeah,
And
and it's really hard to watch because there's not a lot of back and forth dialogue, and it's not filmed like a traditional movie.
yeah.
So you have to be very patient to watch it.
Do you think one thing too that's going on right now is that there's not a lot of good horror?
Yeah, like what was the most recent horror movie? What was it? Speak No Evil, and it wasn't scary.
Ugh, I hated it, Jen. I hated
I
Speak.
saw that movie yesterday, honestly.
To me, where the Tesla couldn't drive through the gate, from that point on, it became stupid. Everything was stupid. It was a comedy. It was such a comedy at the. Oh my gosh,
I was like, just drive through.
I know. And then like they're gonna go back. I don't want to spoil it, but like there was some things where like as a parent you would be like, no, we're going this way.
Yeah,
um, let me ask this question: if Five Nights at Freddy came, would it really be exciting? A scary house, would it deliver on a horror night level, or would it just be like how Killer Clowns kind of felt the second time around?
Yeah, kind of like Killer Clowns. It would just be like a fun maze because it's
it
just animatronic. That's how they're gonna be.
Or I
it would
guess
be
it would feel like a Quiet Place then. I guess animatronics, right?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
What were
it
you
would
gonna
be
say, Jen?
cool. It would be cool if they did it based on the video game. I feel like the video game was scarier than the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and they could make it like so interactive. They can give you a flashlight at the entrance or something to try to look for the animatronics, and then you light it up and it's Freddy Fazbear or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many routes that they could go, but we all know the route they would go, and it's not the route we want.
It's Blumhouse. They're so
Yeah,
yeah. The connection from Horror Nights and Blumhouse has like got so strong. It's ridiculous. Has Blumhouse always been this relevant at Horror Nights? Like if we go back to like 2018.
yeah, it's been relevant for a while because I think 20.
11 years, 2013.
Wow. So they've just been Blumhousing it up.
Yeah, they started with the first Scare Zone, 2013 and 14.
And then they had Horrors of Blumhouse with The Purge, Happy Death Day, and
Yeah.
Sinister. Then they had the lamest one of all, Horrors of Blumhouse with Truth or Dare and
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my god,
I
that
hated
one
that
was
maze. It was so
garbage.
boring.
What year was that?
2018.
Hmm.
the horrors of Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Horrors of Blumhouse with Truth or Dare, Unfriended,
Yeah.
and then they tried to make an original one of the girl. So like in the intro of the Blumhouse movies, there's always like this little girl pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
They tried to give her own section, and it was
Yeah.
so weird.
I love the 2017 the best with Happy Death Day, Purge, and Sinister.
Yeah, that one was really fun.
I love that one a lot. That was my number one.
Uh,
Yeah, and I like that they use the plaza as part of
Yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is done with the Purge, the plaza area. It was all full of fences.
we got that horror guy 22 months. Fires that horror guy. I saw it. I saw it. Happy Haunt season. Wondering what your thoughts are on TCM. Personally, didn't really live up to everything that Murdy said about it. Do you think TCM really lived up to the hype this year?
A month ago, yeah,
Hey, opening weekend it did.
yeah, it did. But now that we're in October, nah, not anymore. It's going down. Less staff lately, so
Yeah, opening weekend, it was definitely top 3 for me. Now it's not even top 5.
Hmm.
No, my top three right now is Monstros, The Weeknd, and the City. That's it to this day right now.
Yeah. Do you think not having Texas merch hurt the Mays somehow? Because that is
Yeah,
a
because
big
Yep.
bummer, right?
everyone wanted that. They all been waiting for that merch, and then didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake.
Do you think the signs of this year not being the best? It all started with the merch. Like that was like the first telltale sign.
Uh, mm,
Maybe because merch started being discounted like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, let me give an example. When they dropped the Ghostbusters, the Quiet Place, like hella early, nobody bought that stuff. Nobody
Mm-mm.
still has bought that stuff.
I have not bought a single piece of HHN merch.
I did,
Damn.
even though I said I wasn't, but I did it anyways.
I think the only thing I'm gonna buy is the Terror Charm hoodie. That's probably the best one.
I know. I want that one too. I tell Junior we're too deep now. We gotta wait till the 80% off, right?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
there's no point in buying any unless you want the weekend sweater. That's the only one that probably won't make it to the discount. Because my sister was trying to buy a weekend sweater 2 days ago, or whenever we went to Horror Nights, and they only had 3X. And I'm like, what? Usually it's like the small ones are left, not the 3X.
yeah. Uh, do you guys think that Chris Williams told John Murray the feedback like, "Hey, it's not hitting well this year, man. We gotta do a better job next year." Do you
I
guys
hope so.
think so?
I
Um,
I, I hope so because I really feel like after they see the numbers for this year and like the lack of merch sales
yeah, and
and
the ticket
everything,
sales,
yeah,
ticket
and the
sales too.
ticket sales, that they try to revamp the whole event and just make it feel fresh again.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that Horror Nights for sure has got the feedback that this year ain't hitting like they thought it would. Um, if you look at it from a corporate side, do you think the big banger was supposed to have been the weekend, and it's just not doing it this year?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just shocked that it's not hitting this year. The weekend, it's just
Uh,
weird.
the week,
I thought it
the
would hit.
weekend. I don't even know if the weekend has ever got to like 90 minutes.
Never. It's always
No,
been 40. Always 40.
the highest I've seen it was 60 minutes.
Yeah,
the
for me, I've always seen a 40. What?
the one maze that keeps having the longest line is Insidious. It's
Yeah, well,
very
Yeah.
consistent.
Jamie told me that it was 180 on Saturday.
Ooh.
What was?
Insidious, 180 minutes.
Oh, I almost want to say it was worth it though. You already knew what you were getting into, and it's like one of the best mazes.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a super chat from Anthony Alvarez dropping the fire. Could we see The Last of Us Part Two since 2000 or since 2023 was so popular? Um, we talked a little bit about this. Uh, does Last of Us 2 deserve to come? I always heard that the game sucked. I heard Part 2 sucked.
No, I love part two. It was really good. It's a long game, but for sure it'll come back next year because the TV show is coming soon. So I say it'll come back. But
I,
I don't
I
know if it's gonna be based on the show or the video game. We don't know.
Well, I think it would be the video game.
Yeah, I mean the creator said that the fans want to see that come back. Yeah, I will definitely bring that back. Yeah, for sure.
What
So
about
I
you,
see
Jack?
that coming back.
You would want Last of Us to come next year?
yeah, I wouldn't mind it if it came back. I would hope it's something completely new for sure.
Yeah,
But all I can say is that for next year, I truly hope that they have some decent IPs or like some banger originals.
yeah, for sure. Rat King has to be in the maze though. Has to be there.
Mhm.
And that has to be in the soundstage this time, not in the tent. Soundstage.
um, if you could, of all the hunts you've been to, what are the top three? Of all the haunts you've been to, the top, like the top three, like you put them all in one pool. What are your top three?
Well, for me, I've only gone to Horror Nights so many times, Knots and Fright Fest. So,
That's a lot. That's a lot of bait. What are your top three? Like
well,
overall, just overall.
my number one is gonna shock you guys, but my number one is Knots. Not Scary Fun.
No, no, but what maze? Your
Oh, Maze out
top
of
three
all. Oh,
mazes. Top three mazes.
oh, okay. Um, this is hard. Man, this is really hard. Between those haunt events, Cinema Slasher,
Dang, number one.
number one, yeah, number one.
That's
Cinema Slasher,
crazy.
number two. Ah,
I know you want to say widows, dog.
yeah, I was gonna go there. I was gonna go there. Yeah, Widows. I'm gonna say Widows. And my
Damn.
number three is Monstro Dos. That's it.
Monstros too.
That's it.
All right, all right. And same question in the chat. All the haunt events you've been to, what are your top three? For you, Jen, you've been to three haunts too. LA Hayride, Dark Harbor, Horror Nights. What have been your top three mazes? Like if you put them all in one pool.
Ah, that's hard. Um, Personally, I really enjoyed Infirmary in Dark Harbor. Felt like the sets were really nice for them being in a ship. And then the boiler room part just made it even scarier. Um, there was there was a maze at Hayride. It was called Hellbilly something, and it reminded me basically of Texas Chainsaw, but more. It was more gory and dark, and they followed you with chainsaws in there.
Damn.
That one, that one was really fun. And then Insidious.
Insidious round out the top three. For
Mhm.
me, I have to say, like the one maze this year where I walked out like holy smokes was Widows. Widows opening day at Not Scary Farm. I was like, wow! Like I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, from beginning to end, it was just high intensity. The sets, even though I couldn't see them because it was so damn dark, it was still cool. I was shocked. I was shocked at Widows. Um, I've never felt a maze like that at Scary Farm. Uh, I think number two. Oh man, that's so hard. Um, man, Cinema Slasher really calls my name, but I don't know if I want to put it in the top three. I'm gonna say Monstros. I'm gonna go with Monstros. So I'll say Widows, Monstros, and then I have to throw it out there. I don't think you guys have done them yet this year. Is It's called Willoughby's at Fright Fest.
Fright Fest.
That shit is scary. The day I went and the workers that were there, it was crazy. I think Willoughby's for me personally has been the scariest maze I've done this year. I didn't think I was gonna say that. Not to hate on Fright Fest or nothing, but it's just that was not the maze I was gonna say is the scariest. But it was. So those are like my top three for me personally this year. Willoughby's, Widows, and Monstros. That's kind of where I fall. Um,
Yeah, I think that comes to show you with Fright Fest though. I feel like they need to stop focusing on the IPs and then just put extra love into the originals and just make new originals every time, and it can be such a great event.
mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's what Six Flags needs.
I feel like Knots could do a better job with Stranger Things.
Yeah, well,
Pro-
Knots needs to get one IP banger. That's what I think.
Yeah,
They just give them Trick or Treat. Just take Trick or Treat out of Fright Fest. Throw it to Knots.
yeah, I feel like they could do a way better job.
Um, I want to end today's live. Your one wish that you want to come next year at Horror Nights, Jen. Your one wish. What's your one wish?
I'm gonna keep wishing for it, even though we're never getting it. Probably, I really want Beetlejuice.
Woo!
Um, I feel like we were robbed from COVID. Um, but I really want Beetlejuice. Or it, Beetlejuice or it.
Oof. Give us both.
Give us both, and both are in sound stages.
Yeah, like I don't want Horror Nights to feel like a budget year. I want it to feel like, damn, they're going all out everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a bounce back. We want a bounce back.
uh,
Yep.
what are your wishes, Junior?
Uh,
Next year specifically.
well, between Freddy and Terrifier, but I'm gonna stick with my answer, Terrifier. That's my one wish. Bring it next year. I feel like Terrifier alone will bring in the crowds, and the tickets will sell so well, all because of Terrifier.
Okay.
Yep. Hopefully, he comes next year.
For me, my one wish, I have two. I have two. I don't personally know if they could be good mazes, but I feel like it would be awesome because there's just crazy shit that happens in these things. VHS. How the hell has VHS never come to Horror Nights? I'm blown away by that. Like I have
Yeah,
no clue.
that would be cool.
VHS
VHS.
VHS has so much anthology, I guess. They have so much to choose from. And I heard that the newest VHS was really good. I haven't watched it yet. I can't wait to see it. But VHS would be sick. Um, Actually, I have three wishes. Three wishes. VHS and Rec, the Rec franchise, like Rec
Yeah, I
One,
remember
Rec
those
Two.
movies. Yeah,
Have you ever seen Rec, Jen?
I haven't.
RPG? Oh my gosh! Watch Rec One, Rec Two. Uh, I don't want to give anything away. Just watch them. It's called REC, like record, but it's just called REC. Rec One, Rec Two. It's all in Spanish. There's subtitles. Don't even worry about it. You
yeah.
get used to reading subtitles if you don't know Spanish. Uh, and my third wish is as above, so below. I feel
Oh,
like
that was so cool.
as above, so below would be like mind blowing in person. It would be insane.
Yes,
There's
I do have another two wish on the video games. Because, Horner has done Silent Hill and The Last of Us. I feel like Until Dawn and The Evil Within will be perfect for Horror Nights SMEs. Because those games are really scary.
which one?
Until Dawn,
Until
and the other one is, yeah, and the other one's called The Evil Within.
Evil Within. Okay, okay. Uh, a lot of people loving the Terrifier idea. They did do Freddy versus Jason. Just when was Freddy versus Jason done?
16.
2016.
And that was the best announcement ever that year. When they announced the Maces, The Exorcist film was announced in April.
Dodger says go old school. Jason, Freddy, It, Abigail, FNAF, Terrifier. That would be insane year. That would be an insane year. Do you guys think Fallout would be a good maze? Because that was rumored a
Uh,
lot this year.
I don't say that's a horror though. That's a thing. I don't know.
I don't know nothing about Fallout. To me, it's
Yeah,
whatever.
Me neither.
that's an RPG game. I'm not an RPG fan. So
Um, I want to ask you guys before we leave. Uh, what are two good horror movies for people to watch? Everybody that's listening, to put you in that Halloween mood. What are two horror movies, Jen, that people should watch?
Two horror movies. Um, I'm gonna go with a newer one. Well, it's not that new, but kind of Barbarian. It's pretty good.
Dude, that movie was crazy. That movie.
I I think it's on Max. Barbarian, and what's another one? Um, I'm gonna go with, since it's new and it's on streaming, Abigail. It's a fun watch.
Damn. All right. All right.
yeah, I love that movie. It's really good.
Barbarian, Abigail. What about you, Junior? Two horror
Uh,
movies to recommend to the people.
this is really hard. I mean, I'm gonna say one '80s movie and then the recent one, well, like a couple of years ago. The '80s movie. I recommend watching is Fright Fest. I mean Fright Night. My bad. Fright Night. It's a vampire one. That one's really good. And then the other one, Hellfest. It's a slasher who goes to the theme park and kills people.
How's that not come to Horror Nights?
Yeah, that would have been perfect as a maze. If you guys haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it.
You know what's one IP that I'm shocked never came to Horror Nights or any haunt is called Haunt. Do you guys remember that movie that came out not that long ago called Haunt?
It's the
Yeah.
one that based on the haunted house
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
the warehouse.
it's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a
I've seen
haunted
it. Yeah, I've
house
seen
and
it.
it's like a real killer. Uh,
They're like clowns, right?
uh, I don't even remember anymore like who the killer was. I think it was just regular people that were the killer, right? I can't.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that movie.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy one to come to horror nights. My recommendation of the one that has been calling my name, and I just really want to watch it again because like it's Halloween season. Interview with the Vampire. That one just puts me in like a horror mood, and Trick or Treat. Good old Sam. I just
I love trick or treat.
I can't get enough of Trick or Treat, man. Trick or Treat, I just love. I don't even know where I could watch it right now. Is it streaming anywhere?
It's on Max.
Yeah, Max.
Oh, I might watch that. I'm gonna watch Abigail, and if I have time, I want to watch Trick or Treat before I go to bed.
Yeah, bring it. Come back to Horror Nights. Come back.
Is there any other haunts that you're gonna be hitting up, Jen? That like you're still gonna be doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Scary Farm at the end of the month.
All right, all right. And
Not six.
what about you, Junior? Are you? What was that one that you said is like a 30-40 minute maze?
Oh, it's a Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I want
yeah,
to do that.
Have you ever done that, Jen? Junior was talking to me
I
about that.
haven't done it. I've never done it because all my friends are chicken. They're all scared. Like
no.
it
Yeah,
was. I was so proud of them. They went to Horror Nights this year. Um, but I really want to do Reign of Terror
yeah, Reign of Terror. I recommend you go twice for the with the lights
twice.
on, and then like towards the final, lights out. That's the
Oh,
scariest one. Lights out. You hold a glowing stick. You can't see nothing.
oh, that's scary.
So you got to use
Dude,
the glowing stick on your way out to find your way out. That's
how many
scary as heck. Trust me.
how many minutes was that when the lights were off? How long is that
That's the
walkthrough?
same. 35 minutes. Same.
Dude.
Oh,
That sounds terrifying. 35-minute walkthrough.
Yeah, it's worth it. You guys will love it.
Wow. What about Midsommar? Is that a good one to come to Horror Nights?
I
no,
don't know how that will work. I don't. I didn't like that movie the
I
most.
walked out of Midsommar. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Junior, did you end up watching Joker?
I did not. I ended up watching Speak No Evil instead,
Oh my god.
just for the heck of
You
it.
had no right decision. They were both bad decisions.
Yeah.
Have you watched Joker, Jen, or no?
I haven't. I'm gonna watch it next week, but I already know I'm gonna like it just because I like Gaga, so I'm gonna be very biased. Um, but so I'm not gonna be watching it in a DC fan way, which I probably should though. But um, I keep hearing bad reviews, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I feel like I'm gonna like it. I like
I know.
musicals.
I'm gonna watch it this week too because it's got so much hate that I almost feel like I'm gonna like it too for whatever reason.
I know. I feel like when a movie has so much hate, I always end up liking it.
uh, to end on a positive note, a wild robot. I know both of you guys have seen it already, or have you seen it, Junior?
I have not seen it.
Okay, okay. Jen, how did you feel with Wild Robot? Because I love.
Oh my god.
I
I
wasn't ready for that movie.
I cried. I sobbed, and honestly, I think it's like top three movies that I've seen this year. It was really good. It wasn't only for kids. It was for everybody. It was a really good movie. It was a beautiful movie. It was very stunning to look at. Um, I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals. So
Hmm.
when the little fox, anytime he was sad, I lost it.
Dude, Wild Robot, like, I think the best thing I could say about it is, like, you got so connected to the characters.
You did all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Wild Robot really it really did a great job of making you feel what the story wanted to project, and uh, I'm shocked how good it was. I didn't expect Wild Robot to be one of my favorite movies this year, but it was.
Yep. They need to
Jeez,
bring Roz as the meet and greet to Universal.
that's what I'm shocked. That's literally what I was thinking. I'm like, how wasn't that a meet and greet this year? It's not like it's out of the ordinary. We got the duck. What was the duck's name? Oh my gosh.
I don't even know from Migration. I don't
From
even know the
Migration, we got a duck. We could easily get the robot, the wild robot. We could easily get that.
literally. We can
Oh.
get that or bring a wild robot experience to the DreamWorks theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wild Robot. It was just too damn good. Closing thoughts on everything, Jen.
Closing thoughts. Overall, even though with like the flaws that have been going on, I'm still having a lot of fun this hot season, and I'm just grateful we get to have hot season again, and I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as we can. This season has been going by really fast. We only have a few more weeks left, and then we gotta wait a whole year again. So just soak it up while we can.
Yup, yup. What about you, Jenner? Closing thoughts?
Uh, so there's only 3 weeks left to October's over. I'm grateful that to have the hunt season again. Regardless, Horror Nights, mid lineup, I'm still having fun no matter what. Still enjoying it. Nas has been so amazing. Fright Fest, I would like to give another chance. But overall, I thought it's a blast this year. So can't wait for next year.
Yeah, I've had a blast this Halloween season. Horror Night, Scary Farm, Fright Fest, Dark Harbor. Like, something in me still wants me to do LA Hayride. I just haven't. I don't know when I might have a chance, but Halloween season has been incredible this year. The only big negative out of this Halloween season is that there's no horror movies in the theater. There's been like nothing.
No, it's just only Terrifier. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you, Jen. Thank you, Junior. Incredible live stream. Incredible live stream.
Uh,
Having us, Mondo.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you for
Hey,
having us.
we need to do another bonfire like this at the end of the season when it's all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
All right, I got a hungry baby. He wants a snack over here. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good
Yeah,
night.
we
We're firing it down. All right, thank you, everybody on the YouTube. Smash the like button. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're firing it down. Love y'all.